Hi folks, this is all the fruit. I'm at the Fontaine de Vaucluse, the biggest spring in all of France. And here I have some feral green figs with red inside. The Fontaine de Vaucluse is a very impressive natural phenomenon. Basically inside this giant hole in the rocks here there is a giant spring. So this river here is not the confluence of a lot of tiny creeks and springs, but it comes from one giant spring. We are in September at the end of the dry season. So as you can see, the water levels are quite low, but you still could, well, take a boat all the way to the very spring of the river. In March or April, I wouldn't be able to stand here. The water would be 1 meter higher. And what you can see along this river is, well, some sycamore or plantain trees, Platanus orientalis. Here we have some mulberry, Morus alba platanifolia, with very good fruit, by the way. And on several locations, here, also over there, and also in that direction, there are numerous figs growing along the river. Basically, they are growing almost in the river. They are in the water for several months throughout the year. Well, most of us know figs as something that likes or at least tolerates very dry conditions, especially in Central Europe, but also in the Mediterranean. You find them in dry fields. They grow out of rubble walls. They grow out of the cliffs. Well, here, on the way to here, I also found a lot of figs, a lot of feral figs growing out of rubble walls or out of limestone cliffs. So yes, they do tolerate such conditions, especially if they find water somewhere deep in the cliff or in the wall. But figs are also a typical riparian species, a typical species along Mediterranean creeks and rivers, especially such with very high fluctuation in water levels. So they can tolerate being immersed in water for a couple months, and they can also tolerate being extremely dry for a couple months. And here, well, the fig is not really native to southern France. We don't know exactly what areas of the Mediterranean and Middle East it's native to, because humans have used it for thousands of years. Actually, there is some verse in the Bible which says that if you have a fig tree, an olive tree and a grapevine, then you have everything you need and you are basically a lucky man. So nowadays we don't know the real origin of the wild fig, of the wild Ficus carica. We just know that man brought it to southern France. And along the Mediterranean coast of southern France, feral figs are everywhere. They are, well, only in the areas with very sour acidic rock, they are kind of rare. They are usually growing out of old rubble walls, not so often out of the cliffs. But here, a lot of lime, figs like it. So we have a lot of figs. And they are quite different because there are lots of fig varieties which became feral and which interbred and got mixed. So we have blue figs with blue inside, we have blue figs with pale inside, we have green figs with blood red inside, like this one. We also have figs which, when they are dry, they are like an ugly grayish, yellowish, greenish color. Actually, those ugly grayish, yellowish, greenish ones are usually the tastiest. So here we have some which I'm quite sure are some hybrid between some green fig and some red fig, like one of them has the green exterior, the other the red interior. Let's try it. Not bad. Not 100% ripe. It still has some sourness. Already enough sweetness. Still some of this prickling sensation which not completely ripe figs have. Here is one which is even less ripe, but already bursting open from all the water. Yeah, quite nice. Not as sweet as I would like them. When you want the fig which is 100% ripe, let's try and get some. Okay. When you want the fig which is 100% ripe, you take the ones which are already kind of shriveled up. See the one to the left, where my thumb is? It's already kind of old and wrinkly. However, since we had some rain here the last days, you have to be careful. The really ripe ones, basically they cannot protect anymore against bacteria, fungi and other pests, so they start rotting when they get wet by the rain. Yep, this one already smells like wine. This is rotten. Let's look at this one. Already starting to rot too. This was eaten by the birds. Well, so I guess here there was some rain the last days or so. So I have to go with the half-ripe figs, which are not so much affected by the rain yet. Still good enough. Well, folks, those were some feral green figs with red inside from the Fontaine de Vaucluse, the biggest spring in all of France. Stay tuned for a lot more fruit videos from the beautiful south of France. And don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe.